Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Manda and Mom. In our series, we've done taking inventory, feeding a family of 4 on a Costco $5.99 chicken. If you haven't seen that go back and check it out. And we've done tips and tricks on how to save money, reduce your grocery budget. So today we're going to discuss strategies before you go shopping. So once you've taken your inventory, you know the things that your family needs every week, whether it's milk, eggs, bread, you know what they like to take for lunch, and you have that on the list. Your next step, you have several decisions that you need to make because where you shop and how you shop makes a difference. If the only place you're going to go is Costco, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I just did a Costco order. I do a Costco order about once a month, and it was $155. And in that, I might have gotten only 15 things. But sometimes the stock up, you stock up once a month and then you're good. If you shop at a discount grocery store, the items are going to be discounted. And let me tell you, if you are buying Del Monte green beans, guess what? Great Value doesn't have a green bean factory or a green bean field. They're buying those canned green beans from Del Monte, and Del Monte's just slapping another label on them. So green beans are green beans. There's a difference between cut, French cut, waxed. There's a difference, there in the type of bean. But if we're just talking straight green bean, they're only made by a couple companies. So if you're shopping the store brand, you're getting a cheaper version of the name brand. Around here, we have Aldi's and Save-A-Lot, or discount grocery stores. There's one co-op that I found, but it's like 45 minutes away. It's over in Illinois, so I haven't been there to check out their prices. If you shop at a Kroger's, a Safeway, a Piggly Wiggly, those name brand stores, you're going to pay a little more for your groceries. So you take your inventory list, and they're basically, the way I look at it, there are 3 ways to shop. 1, you chaos shop, which you just go to the store and just buy stuff and put it in the cart. I did that one week, and I either do $100 a week or $200 for a 2-week period. And I did get some really good meat buys, but planning on spending $100 and ended up spending $260. I didn't go shopping the next week because I didn't need to. So that's chaos shopping. You just kind of go to the store and, oh, that's on sale, and oh, that looks good, and oh, I'll have that for lunch tomorrow, and usually end up with more than what you need. Then there's have a plan. And under have a plan, you have 2 different options. And yes, I'm going to go get my hair cut. I just haven't decided when. Under have a plan, there are 2 different options. I have tried both, and to be honest, both of them actually cost about the same amount of money. So you can take the sale, S-A-L-E, sale bills from the grocery stores and look at what they have on sale. So around here we have Deerbergs and Schnucks. So you look at those 2 ads. Schnucks has Waterloo's on sale for $1 off. They have chicken breasts on sale for $1.99. They have watermelon on sale. Maybe it's June or July, for $2 for one of those little personal ones. Their sale bill will have what they call loss leaders on it. That means if you come in and you buy that chicken breast at $1.99, they already know that they're losing money on it, but they're using that to get you into the store. The same reason why Costco's chickens are still quite cheap. They're $5.99 in my area, because they want you to come in the store and go all the way to the back of the store where the chicken is, and they want you to pick up 3 or 4 items on your way to get the chicken, and 3 or 4 items on the way back to the register. It's called a loss leader. They are leading you into the store with an item that they are going to lose money on. So if you want to shop by what is on sale, and my limit is 2 stores a week. And I don't know if that's because I just don't like driving in St. Louis and it just seems like everything is so far apart. I don't know. Or if it's a time thing for me. Like, we'll go to Panasia, which is the next store. We need to talk about that too. And we'll go to Aldi's. 1 week we do the Costco order. The next week we might go to Schnucks and Aldi's. That's just my limit. If you guys have more time and can do more stores, let me know how you do it in the comments. So if you want to shop by the sale bills and the loss leaders, you're going to go buy the items that are on sale and bring them home, and then you're going to decide what to make from those items. Okay, that's the second way to do it. Buy the sales, come home, and figure out what you're going to make. The second way under Have a Plan is to have the recipes that you're going to make for that week. Whether you're meal prepping, whether you're cooking fresh every night, whether you're ingredient prepping, whatever way you like to cook, you know exactly what you want to eat for the week. You have the recipes. You've already checked the recipes against your inventory. So if it takes brown sugar, you know you either have brown sugar in the cabinet or you have brown sugar on the list to get. If you're going to make a stir fry, you know you have rice. Either there's rice in the pantry or there's rice on the list. So if there's some recipe maybe you haven't ever tried before, there's 3 or 4 items on there that you need to pick up, you put those on your list, on your grocery list. And we did the recipe shopping, oh gosh, Manda was elementary school. Yeah, elementary school. And I had found a magazine that the whole magazine was just recipes with some ads. And I decided that I was going to make every single recipe in that magazine. I made comments. This one was really good. This one sucked. This one needs salt. You know, all that stuff. So I would sit down with the recipes and do just exactly what I told you. Brown sugar, okay, got that in the cabinet. Don't need it on the list. Eggs, I only have 2 eggs. I'm going to make this. That takes eggs. That takes eggs. Put it on the list. And I had the same budget that I'd had before I started it when I was shopping the sales. And it's basically the same amount of money. So it depends on if you're already used to shopping that way. Manda and I do kind of the chaos recipe shopping combination before she moved. And it would be like, oh, I want to have bagel sandwiches for breakfast. I need bagels. We would do that while we were in the store. But we would end up buying too much food. We would have, you have that apple that's in the bottom of the drawer, or the peppers that, I'm gonna make fajitas this week, and then something happens and Manda got sick, or I had to work overtime and ended up eating out, whatever. And it always ended up costing us more money. And I thought back, I went, when we used to do the recipe shopping, it cost about the same amount. And when we used to do the planned, this is what we're going to eat. There it is. That's what I need. Put it on the list. And when she was little, most of the time I shopped the sales. Mariah came to live with us. I think Mariah was 5. That would have made Amanda 7 or 8. They were both in elementary school. And David and I fed the 4 of us breakfast, lunch, and dinner every week on $40. I knew just exactly how many apples to buy, how many bananas to buy, and I bought the sale items, which that seems wild now, 4 people for $40. I did have a good pantry, and I had a chest freezer. So there were stock up times every once in a while. And this week for me, I just did the Costco order. This was my Costco order week, just because I'm just now starting to feel better. The sinus infection is over. Still coughing a little bit, kind of a little stuffy, more when I wake up. But I thought, the last thing I want to do is drag myself to the grocery store when I already don't feel good and I'm tired and go grocery shopping. So, and I have a very large pantry. We also have had a garden for many years. I said this in another video, but it's for those of you that haven't heard it. A friend of mine came over, helped take out the air conditioners, and we went downstairs or the basement, put it in the basement. I said, "Hey, look at my pantry." And he goes, "That's not a pantry, that's an Armageddon wardrobe." So there's a lot down there. My parents taught me, be prepared. Be prepared, and hopefully you won't need it. But by golly, if you need it, it'll be there. It's like the winter preparedness TikTok that I did. The last thing you want to do is be caught out in the cold, get a flat tire, and it'd be 6 below zero with a wind chill of minus 15. And all you have is your jacket. No gloves, no hat, no food, no water. And you're on a road that doesn't get traveled very often. What are you going to do? So, I actually, was it COVID? I probably actually started prepping in 1999. And my parents had taught me to do it. But just hadn't said, okay, we're gonna prep. And it's just kind of stayed that way, and it's kind of nice. Like, I can make my list of what I want to make, and I go downstairs and go to just, kind of pull it off the shelf. Except I can't make spaghetti because I don't have spaghetti sauce. I don't know how in the world I don't have spaghetti sauce. But in my pantry, there is 17 pints of home canned tomato juice, carrots, potatoes. Seems like there's something else. I can't remember. We also dry a lot of food. Seriously, I have a couple peppers in the refrigerator, and I was going to make fajitas last week, and I didn't, and the fajitas are starting to kind of shrivel. And because I have a dehydrator, I can just take them and slice them and put them into a dehydrator, and tomorrow they'll be done, and they'll be in a Ziploc, and they'll be in the pantry. I can use them anytime I want. And if you're thinking about prepping and getting started prepping and you can't do a garden, two really easy ideas is when they're on sale, buy the bags of mixed vegetables. That's carrots, corn, green beans, whatever your favorite is. Be sure and put down like a sheet of wax paper that has holes in it, because otherwise some of it's going to fall through, because the peas are going to fall through the hole in the dehydrator. Just put them in the dehydrator, straight from frozen, and dehydrate them. I have a gallon of dehydrated mixed vegetables in the freezer. Brain fog. I've had coffee and I'm still having brain fog. Maybe it's dehydration. In the pantry, I have a gallon of dried mixed vegetables. We also got to the point where we had that little bit of extra grocery money and I could start picking up stuff in bulk. I've got a large, like 4 or 5 pounds of dried barley, 4 or 5 pounds of dried peas. This is stuff that's going to last a long time. And in my pantry, I have my mom and dad's, I think Manda calls it, that's Grandma and Grandpa's Armageddon food. And I'm sure they probably got it from my aunt, who was a Mormon. But the big 5-gallon buckets, some of them don't even have the list on. There's one that I know it has popcorn in it, and butter powder and something like that. But there, I went off on a tangent. If you have a pantry, you know that it's stocked, and sometimes just having those little bits of new stuff and adding to the stuff you have in the pantry makes life so much easier. So when your dry goods are on sale, the pasta, the beans, the rice, the quinoa, the barley, the amaranth, and the ethnic stores. Check out your ethnic stores. You can, in this area, I can buy spices so much cheaper at the ethnic store than you can at the regular store. I bought 12 ounces of turmeric, and I think I paid $4 for it. And the little bottles like this are 7 and 8 of turmeric at the grocery store. The other thing that I found, and take your time, walk up and down the aisles, check and see what's there. I found, I think it's just called porridge mix. I'll probably go get it, but I'll put a picture of it up here. This stuff is so good. Porridge. If you haven't had porridge, there's all kinds of porridge besides oatmeal. You can have porridge. You can use cornmeal and make porridge. You can use cornmeal, make cornmeal mush. You can have fried cornmeal mush. This porridge is a mix. It's got pumpkin seeds and rice and millet. I think some lentils and some either lotus root or coconut root. It's really good. And I put a sweet rice pudding sauce on it when I made it. There is a bluebird outside. It's the first bluebird we've seen. I'm hoping that means that spring is closer than that nasty old guy, Punxsutawney, said it was. The first time I made it, I just looked it up because there weren't any directions on the back, and it just pour hot water until you get to the consistency you want. I was like, well, that didn't work because amaranth and millet are they're harder than rice, and they're probably, and there was corn in it too, and dried corn can be really hard. So I had to put it in the Instapot, and I read the Instapot, and it was a half a cup of mix for 5 cups of water. That was too much. So I figured out it's a cup of porridge mix to 4 cups of water in the Instapot. I did it for 15 minutes. I probably should have done it for 10 or 12 because then it was just mush, 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 mush. And it had more the consistency of a congee than it did a pudding or a soup. But because I put the sugar in it and the butter in it, it was still really, really good. If there's something particular that you want to discuss or you want me to cover in a video, how to keep your groceries fresher longer, what produce goes in the fridge, what produce stays on the counter, don't store your onions and your don't store your onions and your potatoes together, and don't store your apples and bananas together. If you want that kind of information, we can do that. If you would actually like to see the pantry, and I can talk more about what's there and why it's there and why to have a pantry. We were really glad we had a pantry when we had that tornado. Although it did not hit here, we did have some very high winds and we lost power for a while. But knowing that I had that pantry meant that I didn't have to run to the grocery store and go get eggs and milk and bread. Is that all you're gonna eat if the electricity goes out? We even have water down there. And let me know which way you shop now. Do you chaos shop? Do you plan and buy what's on sale? Do you plan and buy what's needed for your recipes? Do you have a pantry? What items do you think are necessary to have in your pantry? And I'd like to ask you guys a question. Do you all have a freezer beside the little one at the bottom or the top of your refrigerator? That makes a big difference too on what you can buy and how much you can buy. But thank you so much for coming along. Thank you for commenting and liking and sharing and subscribing. We love each and every one of you. We appreciate each and every one of you. As Manda would say, remember you are the magic. And as I always say, remember, you're blessed to be a blessing.